Hi, how are you? Thanks, Fred. Cheryl, did you join the call? Are you on? Because I wanted to give you a chance to introduce yourself if you got on. I thought I saw you.
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So I'm Cheryl Davis with the Human Rights Commission, but used to be with MoMagic Collective Impact, and am so excited for the launching of the network and engaging other folks. Summer is really my passion for young people. I do think it's in some ways the great equalizer in terms of opportunity. And so I hope everybody will take full advantage of everything that's being offered as well. And beyond the grants, but the network and the partnerships and the relationships can be leveraged to make a huge difference in your work and in the lives of young people. So thank you all for making time to join.
Thank you, Cheryl. That's a great transition. So before we get into the sort of technical, what is the Summer Matters Network and how can you really participate and give, I wanted to get us into the spirit of summer with a little video from one of our longtime summer champions, Aim High. So bear with me for this technical transition. And
summer is stretching.
Nazanin, occasionally what you need to do is
There you go.
Summer is stretching and growing.
Summer is reading a book you dreaded and discovering you secretly loved it.
Summer is grass stains, sunscreen, and dripping popsicles.
Summer is making new friends and making unforgettable memories with old ones.
Summer is filled with bugs, belly laughs, and best friends.
Summer is learning more about yourself than you ever imagined.
Summer is pushing yourself outside your comfort zone.
Summer is finally mastering algebra.
Summer is climbing mountains, gazing at the stars, and camping in the redwoods.
Summer is getting inspired, recharging your batteries, and prepping for the best year yet.
As a kid, I always loved to learn, but...
Sorry, I'm having a technical issue. Thank you for your patience. So I just wanted to share that video because I think it's such a great way to get inspired and remember why we're all here and really what the potential is for summer learning. So like I said, I had an opportunity to work on the Summer Matters campaign for about 7 years. Well, I didn't work on it for 7 years, but the campaign existed for 7 years. And the mission of that Summer Matters campaign was so that all young people in California had access to a high quality summer learning opportunity. And after those 7 years, while we made a lot of great gains, which I will share about, we just really felt like we needed to keep going. We had so many accomplishments and built so much partnership and momentum around this work that it couldn't stop. So a few of the accomplishments that I feel like we're really in a position to build upon are one, from the Summer Matters campaign work, we've established tools that help define and support quality. So if you've ever been to the Summer Matters website or you were a part of that work, or have been to the many conferences that our partners have presented at, you've seen a lot of those tools. We worked with the National Summer Learning Association, CDE's Expanded Learning Division to build out a lot of that. So one of the great things that the Summer Matters Network can now do is really disseminate that even further and make sure that more and more programs and more students are benefiting from those tools. The second is that we have been able to increase access to funding through policy amendments, specifically to ACES in 21st Century, as well as work on LCAP. So with the local control funding formula, providing the impetus of decision-making at the local level with school districts, we've been able to get more money from districts into summer and after-school programs, as well as through the ACES in 21st Century. So really making the case that summer matters, and like Cheryl had said, is a great equalizer. We know that without summer learning, the academic achievement gap has a really big impact on students, especially those students who don't have access because of their own lack of resources in their family. So we want to build on this, make sure more and more people know about how to access funding and how to get their stakeholders and their decision makers to champion the work on summer and make this more and more available to students in their communities. And then the third is that we did increase the number of champions for summer learning, and we don't want to lose you. And we don't want to lose all of those that have been supporting us for the last 7 years. It's been a lot of work. And we haven't got 100% students in California in a summer learning program, so it doesn't mean that we should give up. And because of the champions, we don't want to sort of say thanks for your help, and we'll take it from here. But instead, leverage those champions and create more champions. So that's what this network is about, is just building on those partnerships and building on those connections. So what we're hoping, it's not that different, but what the network is really trying to do now is hold that vision still of increasing the number and quality of free or low-cost summer learning programs across California, specifically by facilitating strategic connections of supporters. So that's what our infrastructure is being built around, is that idea of being very intentional to get all these summer learning champions together to talk to each other and supporting the work. And so Selena is going to talk more specifically about what it means to be an active partner, which is basically somebody in the network doing that work. So I'm going to pass it over to Selena in just a bit. One other thing that we did in the last month in launching this network is we sort of had formal parties across the state asking folks that were able to attend, what does the summer learning field need? So if we're working in this network trying to make these strategic connections across supporters, what would be some projects that would be especially useful to the field? So these are the top 10. Staff development, resources, funding, curriculum, how to plan and resources for field trips, public awareness and advocacy campaigns, again, unique program design and curriculum, addressing transportation issues, cultivating and maintaining partnerships locally, and then staff recruitment. So we will talk a little bit more, actually, Selena will talk a little bit more about what an active partner is in the network and how an active partner might be able to help address these issues.
Thanks, Nazanin. So, before getting to into the nitty gritty with the active partner, for me, it's really helpful, and what I try to keep in mind when thinking about what it really means to be an active partner and part of this network is that and what we frame this as is really a leadership opportunity that through this network, we, as a core team are kind of creating this container, this foundation for the network to be successful. But as far as what the network does and who's driving that work is really around leaning on the active partners. And, we have other folks that will tap into the network for resources or come in and out as they need the support of the network, but it's the active partners and hopefully you all who are on this call who are really going to be the linchpin, the key to ensure that this network is successful and is meeting the needs of the field. And so, we really hope that after this call today that you want to continue to be a part of the network and in this leadership role and continuing to support summer programs through the network. And so the active partners participate in the network to really strengthen the relationships and find common ground, to provide a platform for learning and sharing information. So again, really tapping into the network model and connecting folks to resources. They coordinate existing actions, so we're not necessarily asking you to create or do anything new, but really just help connect folks, connect events, tap into resources that have already existed and have been created through the Summer Matters campaign, So really just coordinating existing actions to support each other's work, and really avoid duplication. I think that's what we've heard as a need around this network and around summer, is like, really not wanting to reinvent the wheel and really tapping into what's already there, what programs are finding successful. And so really leaning on active partners to help coordinate that. And then explore and collaborate on opportunities for systems impact. So how on a larger scale level is the summer programs in this network creating a systems change? That one may take more time and is kind of a bigger goal and purpose, but as we know the value of summer programs, and I think to what Cheryl's mentioned, is really the opportunity to close the gap, and especially for a lot of the young people that you serve, that how as a network can we really create systems level impact. So beyond the kind of how active partners participate, the potential areas for collaboration include securing funding for summer learning programs, developing innovative approach to provide summer learning opportunities, and working on shared policy issues. So similar to what the Summer Matters campaign had done, these are just ideas or potential areas. This is definitely not the only thing that you all can collaborate on, but it can include sort of either these different avenues between funding, really providing resources and developing ideas for summer programs, and then looking at policy level impact and changes for summer programs. So we want you to be an active partner, to be this leadership, to take on this leadership role with the network. Again, as I said, that the core team that you heard from, we're here to kind of create this framework and foundation, but that you all are the ones that are going to really drive and make sure that this network is successful for summer programs in California. So I know a lot of folks have a need to know the role and responsibilities and what you might actually be signing up for by agreeing to be an active partner. So we did want to share those with you all. So we're looking for folks to commit to 11 months and to support the network over the course of that time. Active partners are required to attend a first work group meeting. So you all will be, as an active partner group, but we'll split you up into work groups based on kind of the 10 areas that Nazanin had shared earlier. And that first work group meeting, just to put this on your horizon, is going to be happening the week of May 21st. So you'll be required to attend that first work group meeting. You'll be required to participate in the work group. So whatever the work is or the project, and how you all divide up your roles within the work group, you'll be required to participate in that. And that will look like dedicating about 4 to 6 hours a month. I mean, it will vary again depending on your project and what you all take on, but expect to dedicate around 4 to 6 hours a month over the 11th month period of time. And then attend an in-person convening. So we know there's a large value in getting folks together in person, as much as webinars and video conferencing helps connect folks throughout the state. We also want to create space for folks to meet face-to-face. So we are organizing and will require active partners to attend the in-person convening on March 1st in 2019. And then lastly, engage with the online communication platform. So we're trying to stay up to date with technology and ways to communicate and complete projects virtually. And so you would be required to engage in the online communication platform, which we'll go over in the first work group meeting. So we've shared a lot around what we will need and want from active partners in support of the network, but you are not doing it alone. You will have a team, the core team supporting you all throughout the 11th month period of time, and what you can expect as far as supports from the core team include all the logistical support, any communication, survey creation, scheduling meetings. So any of those logistical pieces will hold. We will also provide assistance in creation and monitoring work plans. So you all will create a work plan to help make sure you all are successful with your project. And so the core team will make sure that you all are on schedule with the work plan and following up with the work group regarding next steps. So really helping facilitate the success of your projects. We'll provide assistance with creating any documents. So if you all create or have ideas and need support with creating any flyers, materials, or a work plan itself, the core team will really help make that happen. So again, we know that 4 to 6 hours a month is a lot to dedicate to this work. And so the core team definitely wants to take on more as a support to get things done if needed. And then we will be disseminating any work group related communications either amongst the network or out externally as well. And then lastly, provide support to individualized support for work group members. So we see this as, again, as a leadership opportunity. Within your work group, you'll take on certain roles, and we want to see that as a development and leadership opportunity for you. And so as core team members, you'll work with one of us within your work group, and we'll provide that one-on-one support for your growth as you continue to be an active partner. And then lastly, we'll be a liaison to the rest of the core team. So you'll work with one of us, and then that person will be the liaison between your work group and the full core team that you've met today. So just some key dates to mark your calendar. Again, we're trying to share as much information ahead of time so you all are aware of what you're signing up for. The week of May 21st, it would be your first work group meeting, and you'll hear from one of the core team members to get that scheduled. June 1st is when the microgrants application is due. So Jessica will go over what those are in a moment. But your work group will decide whether or not you want to apply for a microgrant to help support the work that you're doing over the next 11 months. And so that will be due on the 1st. And then we'll notify all the awards on the 30th of June. And then March 1st is the convening. I know Mary Jo asked about whether it would be virtual or not, and it will be virtual. Or the May 21st, sorry, would be virtual. The March 1st, the March date is going to be in person, I believe, right, Nazanin? Yes. So the May 21st and most of your other meetings with your work group are going to be virtual, but we do want to, again, get folks together in person. So the March 1st is an in-person location will be, is TBD right now. And then April 1st is just when final reports are due to share back on what you all did with your work groups as it relates to the microgrant that you received. So with that, we want to get a pulse of what folks want to work on or where they're really feeling excited about as far as thinking about your role as an active partner and what project you might want to take on or what work you might want to support with the network. So there's a poll that popped up, hopefully for everyone, for you to select which topic or topics you would be interested in working on. Again, this will help inform, a potential work group that you will be on for the next 11 months if you move forward with being an active partner. So take a minute to complete the poll and let us know what topic you are interested in working on. I don't know, Nazanin, were you going to answer it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, two things. I see two questions. One, is it just one topic? You can choose as many topics as you would like. We just want to get a sense of where the interest lies. And then the second question is define getting and giving resources. So this is along the lines of getting and giving information, sharing tools. If you have ideas around funding, that would be another resource, but it's mostly around knowledge, tools, templates, curriculum that you can either share or access.
So take another minute to, or 30 seconds to complete the poll and select the topic or topics, multiple if there's multiple that you're interested in. All right. So here are the results just for folks to see where there's some excitement based on who's on the call. So a lot around STEM curriculum and training and cultivating and maintaining partnerships and curriculum and program design. So a lot of great excitement around all these different topics. So I think we'll then be using this information to help inform what work groups we focus our energy on and how we can assign folks to different work groups and projects over the next 11 months. So I know that was a lot of information around the roles and responsibilities. We'll definitely share more out after the call if you weren't able to necessarily take it all in, but do want to create space. Are there any questions about the role of the active partner, your role responsibilities, expectations, the supports that you receive during your 11th month participation? You can type in the chat box if you have any other questions. All right, well, definitely feel free to reach out to any of us on the core team. And again, we'll send follow-up information for you all just to make sure you're clear on what your role would be as an active partner moving forward. We know we've heard and received that kind of feedback that you really want to be clear on the responsibilities. We know what you're signing up for and the expectations. So we hope that is clear and that you're still excited and ready to move forward with really driving the work of this network and supporting summer learning programs throughout the state. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jessica to review a little bit more information about the micro grants that we've alluded to throughout the call.
Thanks, Selena. Look, you did such a great job explaining active partner roles that no one had any questions. So way to go. Now let's talk about money, because who doesn't like to know about micro grants or money? Okay, so these collaborative microgrants, as you can see on the screen, are just a resource that are going to support a network of organizations that really want to work together so that they can increase the access and improve quality of summer learning. There's some information that I'm going to go over, but don't worry, you will be getting these frequently asked questions post this webinar. But there are a couple of things that I think are really important. At least if it was me applying for the grants, these are things that like I would want to know for sure. Like, who can apply, right? So the request for proposals will go out. The application will be open, as Selena mentioned, June 1st. So that's really exciting. So anybody who's participated in one of these webinars, listened to or recorded one of these are eligible. One of the key things is that it really is a networked approach. So it's going to be more than one organization. So it really needs to be at least 2 organizations who are going to collaborate on their work together, hence the collaborative microgrants. The learning or work really should be focused on the potential to advance summer learning in California, with the work proposing to be done between June 2018 and February 2019. Some things that you could do, some of the things that you might include in your proposal is cost towards maybe food or space for having a cross-organization convening, or a facilitator for such convenings. Maybe you're going to create a webinar or a tool that doesn't already exist to support the quality and investment in summer learning. Maybe you're going to collaborate on some professional development modules or curriculum, tools around professional development for the field. Funds can also support travel for collaborative efforts in learning. You can include any sort of like data analysis type of thing. So if you want to do like an evaluation of summer learning programs or a landscape analysis of summer learning opportunities, those can all be things that are in your proposals. So as it says here on the screen, one of the things that is really important to know is how much will these microgrants be? Basically, in order to support a number of strong proposals, we're keeping the seed funds between $1,000 and $4,000. So those would be the amounts for these grants. There are some project deliverables, and that will be in these frequently asked questions. But some things include, each team should complete their project deliverable by February 2019. And each team member needs to attend that annual convening in I think it's March 1st. And they're going to present their project and their work. Also, making sure that the team is responding to any project inquiries that we're making, just to kind of see where you're at and what you guys might need help with. And then there is a final report as well that this frequently asked questions document also has the questions that will be asked. The whole process is designed to be short and simple. So the application's designed to be short and simple. And in reading through the final report questions, they're not really difficult. It's really around like, what did you set out to do? What were you able to do? If you had to do something different, why? And then feedback, things you've learned, things like that are all part of that final report. So the applications will be due June 1st, 2018, and projects will be completed by the end of February or by March 1st, 2019. And that final report that I was just talking about, that's what's due on April 1st, 2019. Oh, thanks, Nazanin. Yes, so 2 people means just 2 different organizations. So it's that networked approach, that idea of collaborating with another organization to do this work. Are there any other questions about the microgrants?
There's a
Sorry,
question about whether or not the microgrant can be used for travel to the March 1st meeting. And it can, if you're saying that the group of people that are getting paid to attend the March 1st meeting has some kind of specific project that they did work on that they'll be able to present on. So is that they've created something, they didn't need the money for anything else to do the work, and it's just to go to the meeting, that would be fine. And it couldn't be one person working for two organizations.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. And no, you can be part of a work group without receiving the microgrant funding.
Mhm.
So that's not a problem. Can you define? Sorry, now y'all get the real up close as I'm going blind and trying to read. Well, define the organization's collaboration would look like. I think that would be something you would have to decide with your partner organizations. And that will include with your work group and some of the things that I think will come in like future discussions. I'm looking to see if Nazanin or Selena are going like, no, Jessica, stop talking.
No, I think that's right. I think it's hard. It's going to be hard to say. It's hard to say now because it depends on the project and the organizations and what those organizations are willing and able to share.
And you'll have a chance in your first work group meeting to kind of really talk about, like, do you want to apply for a microgrant? What does that look like? Like, you'll have an opportunity. I mean, definitely ask the questions, but you'll have opportunity to dig in more around like whether or not you want to apply, and then if we apply, what does that look like at your first work group meeting?
Okay, so there's a couple of questions in here around still needing to know the location for the March 1st meeting. As soon as we have that determined, I'm sure we will be sharing that out with folks. And then are grants only available to work group members? That I don't know the question to. I'm looking to Nazanin or Selena or Fred or anybody from our core team.
Well, I would say like, Mary Jo's asking, so I'm thinking like if you have like a work group happening within the greater LA network, they're basically, I mean, they're a work group of the California Summer Matters Network. So essentially, if you have the microgrant, you're gonna be a work group because you're gonna be a group of organizations working on some kind of project to use the money. So I think that probably the definition of work group here is a little bit loose in that sort of where you define yourself as a work group, whether it's getting the microgrant or as like a specific active partner within the Summer Matters network is not as important as the fact that you're working together on something that's going to support the network's goal of increasing the quality and number of summer learning programs. So if the family engagement group is doing something that's going to lead to a resource for summer learning programs, then yes, then they would be able to qualify for the microgrant.
Any other questions? I'm sure more will come up and we can really dive into those in the work group, first work group meetings as well. Well, I think that's all we have for the collaboration microgrants. I like talking about money. That's fun. I like telling people that there's opportunities for money. So it's a fun part of the call. I'm gonna pass it on to Natalia, who's going to talk about some next steps.
Natalia, we can't hear you. Huh, okay. I see you, but I can't hear you. Natalia, I'm gonna go ahead and go through it because I don't know why we can't hear you. And as I was trying to help you, I lost my PowerPoint. Okay. So next steps, after this webinar, you will get an email with links to the doodle for the May 21st, that week of May 21st, the work group meetings. You will also get a link to a commitment form, so outlining the responsibilities and supports that you will get as an active partner, and then committing to that. And then you will also get a link to the recording of this webinar. So if you want to hear it again, or if you want to share it with anyone else, you can do that. You should apply for the micro grant, and more information on that will also be sent out, and we'll dig into that in the first work group meeting as well. Again, share the links with others. And if you haven't already, sign up for the Summer Matters e-news, because that is how you will get information around upcoming events, new meetings, new resources. And one of the places where the work group work will be shared out is on the website. So as work groups create new products, tools, stories, ideas, we're going to push that out in the e-news and the website. Somebody just quickly is asking a question, is when does the 11 months begin? And that begins, yes, in May. So that will be the first work group meeting, is the first month of that 11 months. Okay. So we have one last poll before we let you go. We'd love to hear from you why you think that having this network of summer learning champions really matters to the field and to the children and youth of California. So once again, this is a poll everywhere. You can text or you can use your internet browser, but we'd love to hear from you. Why do we matter? Why do we, the Summer Matters Network, matter for the children and youth of California? I'm going to leave it open for about 2 minutes so that everyone can share their thoughts. We have over 30 people on the webinar, so it would be great to get everyone's ideas on here. So you might go back and look at this webinar and digest the information longer. You might open up the links in the follow-up email, read more carefully, and have some questions. So this is not the only time for questions. We wanted to create this opportunity to say all at the same time to as many people as possible what it means to be an active partner and an active member of the California Summer Matters Network. And if you're already a part of the Greater LA Network, you're basically a part of us. And we're just expanding and trying to get everyone connected across the state. So MIDLA and LA County has already done an amazing job connecting that region and doing a lot of the work that the Summer Matters Network is about to embark on here. So we're just wanting to bring that to the rest of the state. Gloria and Philip in Northern California are also doing a great job of building their regional network. So again, we just want to keep this going and keep the relationships and the resources and great thinking and great ideas and momentum connected across the state. So if you have questions, new ideas, please feel free to reach out to any of us on the core team. Again, that's myself, Nazanin, Natalia Flores from Think Together, Selena from CalSAC, Jessica Hay from CAN, Fred Buggs from the Expanded Learning Division, and Cheryl Davis from Collective Impact and the San Francisco Human Rights Commission, and then MIDLA from the Greater LA Summer Matters Network. So we are always open to more conversations, more questions, and really this is about making the network work for you. So we will build this together as we go over the next year. So thank you for the word cloud. I'm going to save this, and this will be something that we share out in the follow-up email as well, so everyone can see what these responses and ideas are about why we matter and why getting together as a network and focusing on the summer learning opportunities for children in California really matter. So it is 10:56, so we ended a little bit early. I will stay on for the next 4 minutes, so if people have questions, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, thanks again for your participation, and I look forward to connecting with everybody in May. Oh, somebody asked, when will we know what group we're a part of? So that's going to be part of the commitment form process. So in the follow-up email, you'll get a link to the commitment form, and you'll be asked which groups you want to participate in, what topics you're interested in. And then once we get all of those collected, and sorry, I was reading another question. So once we get all those commitment forms collected, we'll be able to see where people are interested and then make the groups from there. Since there is 7 of us on the core team, and we want each work group to have a constant liaison, we're going to see if we can keep it to 7 work groups. So if it looks like there's a clear place for work groups that you fall into, that's where you'll be. And if there's some places where you could be in either place, then we'll follow up and ask basically where you would like to go. So you're not going to get assigned to something you don't want to work on. It is going to be something that you want to do that's already in your wheelhouse, that makes sense for the work that you're already doing, and what you specifically have interest in.